being plugged into the culture matters. And you'll have civilian counsel that are out there that either have never been in the military, don't know the difference between a staff NCO or an enlisted or an officer, or just generally speaking, but aren't plugged into the culture. And then they come into court looking like a soup sandwich. I'm not trying to shame anyone here, but if you're going into a military courtroom, in particular a Marine Corps courtroom, you need to look presentable because they're going to judge. And you say, well, we don't judge. We're living in a culture where we don't judge anymore. We're 2023 or 2024. Nonsense. People judge all the time. I got what the woke culture tells us you are supposed to do, but the reality is you judge people all of the time. The minute you go into a Marine Corps courtroom, you walk in looking like a soup sandwich, you're going to get judged. And that's just the reality of it. And if you're getting judged, you are no longer the arbiter of credibility, the arbiter of truth. You have to overcome that. So I've seen civilian defense counsel come in there. I didn't think it's long hair at all. They come with real long hair, oxford skin boots, their suits wrinkled, they're grossly overweight, and they're trying to advocate for their clients. It looked like a hot mess. And again, I'm not shaming anyone about it, but if you're going to represent your client in a Marine Corps courtroom or in an Army courtroom or really any courtroom across the military, they're going to say, if you don't have enough self-discipline to take care of yourself and present, how do you have the self-discipline to take care of this Marine? And you have a massive battle to overcome. You may have the legal position, you may have the argument, you may be a fundamentally better trial lawyer, but you have a huge obstacle to overcome, in particular in the Marine Corps. So that's why it matters that you are someone who understands the culture, who served in the military, who can go out there. You need to go out and run with some Marines. You can run and not pass them. You have to be able to look a certain way. And I'm not talking about aesthetics or anything else. I'm talking about just be presentable and someone that's not going to instantly lose credibility. Because if you instantly lose credibility, as soon as you walk into the courtroom, let me tell you what, you're going to probably lose that case if it's a close call. Let me give you an example of a real world scenario where I saw this occur with a Marine. And it happened to me. So we were in court in Okinawa. This was quite a long time ago. I was the civilian defense counsel. I was out of the military. I was defending a Marine in Okinawa, and we had called a witness on the defense case in chief. This was the Okinawa courtroom, and we're on the right-hand side of the courtroom. The panel or the jury is on the left. It was all officers and senior non-commissioned officers. And our witness walks in, and as he's walking past the prosecution desk table over to the podium, a master gunnery sergeant on the jury says, "Hey, Dick, why don't you go square away that gig line?" That's what he said. Hey, devil, like devil dog, why don't you square away that gig line? Which is almost unheard of. This is a member of the jury looking at my witness and noticing his gig line isn't squared away. The gig line is basically just the line from your shirt here that goes down to the seam of where your zipper on your pants is, and it needs to be lined up. The gig line needs to be lined up. And so this witness, in the middle of the well of the courtroom, the judge, who was a great judge, looks at me, kind of smiles. I'm like, what do I do here? And he just squares up, touching the shirt in, and squares with gig line. They said, Roger, that master gunnery sergeant, and proceeded to go take the witness stand. I'm like, damn. And that really got me thinking that if my witness, who is a young Marine, kind of gig line off, and that is throwing off a panel, then I've been squared away too. Because if they're looking at them, they're looking at me too. And it's funny, in that case, we had a full acquittal. And back then, they don't do it much anymore, but they used to do hot washes with the members of the panel, where you can actually talk with them afterwards and you can't talk about what's going on in the deliberative process. But you can talk about their feelings on the case and their observations on the case. And it's incredible what you learn from talking to jurors afterwards. They don't do it much anymore. But I remember that one particular panel member said, "Hey, sir, you need to square away these Marines before they come into the courtroom, because if he doesn't take his uniform seriously, why should I take his testimony seriously?" I basically disregarded whatever he had to tell him. That's what the member told me. The member told me this. They thought it was acquittal, right? And I was like, wow, if he thought that if his uniform wasn't squared away, then he's not taking care of himself and doesn't care enough, then from that moment on, the notion of I need to make sure my shoes are conservative, I'm not wearing some crazy ostrich skin, purple shoes or whatever, my gator boots, right? My now later gators, right? They need to be shined. You're not going to see me wearing some crazy suit. I'm usually wearing a white shirt or a blue shirt with kind of my, I'm almost always wearing a yellow tie because I like the yellow tie. But dress appropriately and have the right haircut, even if you're a civilian, because it matters. And the other members of that panel, he wasn't just some rogue master gunnery sergeant, agreed with him. And they all kind of chimed in on it. Now, obviously, that one witness wasn't enough to blow the case, but what if it was? If you're one of these scenarios where the government's accused you of something very serious and it could cost you your future, your freedom, or your career, you need someone who's been there and done that. Give me a call. I've been doing this for 20 years and I've been to trial over 500 times with a track record that I'll put up against anyone. If you want to take it to the next level, get on my calendar, let's do a call and let's go win your case.